Senator Housakos.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. My question is for the government leader, and I have a question, government leader, in an area that the Liberal Trudeau government excels in, and that is breaking the conflict of interest and the ethics code of Parliament. This week, we had the Commissioner of Ethics report to the Parliament that Minister Mary Ng breached the code on 2 occasions. She gave out 2 contracts to a Liberal Party insider and a personal friend, tens of thousands of dollars, without due process. And I know for independent Senate colleagues that haven't been in Parliament that long, there's a general sense in the new Trudeau government that this is acceptable. But in the Westminster parliamentary system, what has been the tradition up until 2015 is that when a minister behaves in an egregious fashion and breaks the ethics code, they actually are held accountable. It's a foreign idea here with the Trudeau government. So the question is simple, government leader. When will Prime Minister Trudeau fire Minister Ng for breaking the ethics code?
Senator Housakos.
Thank you for your question. First of all, the government would like to thank the Commissioner for his important role in ensuring the transparency and the accountability of our institutions. As the report indicates, Minister Ng has taken full responsibility for her actions. She has stated that she should have recused herself, and she has apologized for not doing so. I am assured that at no time was there any intention for anyone to benefit inappropriately. The minister has high personal standards for transparency and accountability, and Canadians have every right to expect that. The minister has apologized, and it will not happen again.
Senator Housakos.
That's great.
Senator Gold, I'm happy that the government thanks the Commissioner for doing his work. All of Parliament thanks the Commissioner for doing his work. Now, we don't need the Prime Minister to thank the Commissioner for doing his work. What we need the Prime Minister to start doing is his work. Yes. And at the end of the day in Parliament, we have a responsibility to make sure ministers behave in the most ethical fashion. And when they don't, this is not kindergarten school where you show up at the principal's office and you apologize and promise not to do it again. We're talking about taxpayers' money, and we're talking about ethics code of this Parliament and this government. So when is this government going to start doing its job? Or is the real problem here that the Prime Minister can no longer hold ministers to account because he has breached the code on a couple of occasions, and it would be rather hypocritical of him getting rid of ministers for breaching a code that he has breached? Many times. So that in itself, is that the problem, government leader, and how do we address that problem?
Senator Gold.
No, that is not the problem. Thank you for your question. The government, the minister has apologized, and the Prime Minister has accepted the apology.
Senator Housakos.
They haven't accepted it.
Look, clearly we acknowledge that this government is corrupt and is unwilling to take responsibility for their egregious behavior. My next question, I hope to get an answer to this, and this has to do probably, I think, more with incompetence. And it's a follow-up question to Senator Downs' question, and we've asked on a number of occasions. We have seen how the world has become more and more dangerous. We see how democracy is more at risk today than it's ever been, and foreign influence is a real problem on social media, our institutions that are being influenced, both academic, political, and cultural, and otherwise. What is your government doing in order to combat foreign influence in our institutions, in our country? Concrete action.
Senator Gold.
Thank you for your question. The allegation that this government is corrupt is unacceptable and not worthy of Her Majesty's loyal opposition, even in this chamber. That said, as I've said on many other occasions, the government is taking all measures necessary to protect Canada from foreign interference. That includes appropriate investigations, not only by the RCMP but by our security forces. It is holding the leaders of those governments to account through the imposition and escalating imposition of sanctions, through demanding answers from their representatives in this country. We'll continue to do that which is necessary to protect our institutions. Happily, Canada has a very robust security system and measures in place to protect the integrity of our elections and our institutions. And this government will continue to work to strengthen those institutions and apply them with their full vigor to protect the interests of Canadians.
Senator Housakos, followed by Senator Cordy.
Senator Gold, it's not me that's calling this government corrupt. It's the ethics officer of Parliament. On a number of occasions, who has talked about the Prime Minister and ministers breaching the code. For that matter, it's the former Minister of Justice who had to resign when she tried to hold the government to account. It seems like Minister Raybould was the only minister that was held to account because she said the truth and she got fired. But now back to your weak answer in regards to foreign interference and foreign influence. The truth of the matter is this is a problem that has been festering and growing over the last 2 years, government leader. And up until a week ago, it hasn't been addressed at all by your government. We have legislation in this chamber that has been lingering and the government has put on ice. The government has not taken any legislative action in order to combat foreign influence other than a statement a couple of weeks ago by the Minister of Public Security saying it's something in the new year they are going to study and review. That's your minister who said that in a press conference. Why has it taken so long for this government to take concrete action? And all we are waiting for, and the only thing we have gotten as a promise, is that we're going to review it in the new year. That's the question. The question is, when are we going to see action rather than talking points?
Senator Gold.
Well, it must be comforting to be able to offer simplistic analyses on complex issues, as everyone in this chamber does, and I think should know, that many measures are taken beyond introduction of legislation to protect our institutions. This includes, as I've said, the robust work of our intelligence agencies, the robust work of our law enforcement agencies, and the diplomatic efforts that continue to take place. Canadians should be assured that this government takes those responsibilities seriously. It is using all tools at its availability to protect Canadian institutions and Canadian interests.
Senator Cordy.